So today, Friday the 23rd, marks the end of the continuing resolution, which was passed by Congress to buy Congress some additional time to settle on a budget for the 2023 fiscal year. We talked about yesterday how it passed in the Senate, right, but still needed to pass in the House. And it passed in the Senate over the objection of House Republicans. House Republicans threatened Senate Republicans to try to bully or intimidate them into not passing this bill. But it didn't deter Senate Republicans. They passed it anyway, and then it went to the House. And we expected that it would pass the House because Democrats still have the majority in the House. And if need be, I think they could have passed it on a straight party line basis. Well, it did pass the House, and broadly did pass on a party basis, not quite, but there were only 9 Republicans in the House of Representatives who voted to pass this budget, this funding bill. And it's now going to President Biden for his signature. So the House passed the nearly $1.7 trillion long-term government funding bill 225 to 201 on Friday ahead of a looming deadline, which is that continuing resolution. 9 Republicans voted for it, and some of the names include like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, who, Cheney lost her re-election bid in Wyoming. Kinzinger did not opt for re-election because he knew he was not going to win. They are 2 prominent critics of President Trump, the cult leader of the Republican Party, and they were actually formally censured by the Republican Party, the RNC, earlier this year. So these guys are like, the political equivalent of lepers to the GOP. But they did the right thing and voted for it. And actually only one Democrat voted against it, Representative Ocasio-Cortez. And she's probably going to get beat up by liberals in particular and centrists on Twitter. But I did want to discuss her reasons because she issued a public statement, and her reasons were fair. I mean, she had principled reasons. In her statement, she says, "I campaigned on a promise to my constituents to oppose additional expansion and funding for ICE and the Department of Homeland Security." Now, Department of Homeland Security, I think, is trying to, oppose additional funding that's a hard case to make. But ICE, which is the primary immigration arm of DHS, there were credible reports, many credible reports throughout the Trump administration in particular, that ICE committed some pretty egregious cruelties against immigrants and I think even immigrant youths coming from Mexico into the United States. And so she had her principled reason for it, and she was very clear this was nothing new. She's been an outspoken critic of both of these agencies. And she also says that for that reason, as well as the dramatic increase in defense spending, which exceeds even President Biden's request, I voted no on today's omnibus bill. And it is true that the defense budget included in this government funding is dramatically higher than what President Biden and the Pentagon requested. But that's nothing new, I will say. Congress seems to be particularly inclined to give the Defense Department and the Pentagon more than what they ask for, probably for optics reasons. No one wants to be seen as thrifty on, national defense. But she says, she does say that additionally we secured significant funding for 15 community projects, yada, yada. These victories and many more, such as the inclusion of the Pump and Pregnant Women's Fairness Acts, are hard-fought wins that we proudly support and would proudly vote for. And these are pieces of legislation that became amendments in this omnibus bill that we discussed in a previous video. Those did pass. And actually, I want to draw attention to that now because the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, even though it passed as an amendment in this omnibus bill, was opposed by 24 Senate Republicans. So the pro-life party, the party that says that they care about women and pregnant women in particular and mothers and the family and babies and fetuses, 24 of them, half of them in the Senate, right, because there are only 50, so about half of the Republicans in the Senate voted against this particular amendment. And those include names like Marco Rubio, Florida, Mike Lee from Utah, Josh Hawley from Missouri, the guy who threw up his fist to the January 6 rioters and then ran from them like an hour later when they broke into the Capitol. This is not a pro-life position, right? This is further indicative of the fact that much of the Republican Party really isn't pro-life. They're just pro-forced birth, and that they don't really care about the comfort and health of an expecting mother or anything like that. They just want to force her to give birth to the fetus. And in terms of allowing her to sit at a cash register or to get extra bathroom breaks or to express milk if she's a recent mother, they don't really care about that. And that's sad, and it's further illustrative of the fact that the GOP is just not a pro-life party. So keep that in the back of your mind. They are pro-forced birth. They are not pro-life. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, and I hope that you did, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe. Also, my link tree is in the description below, so if you have a sec, go ahead and share the love on all my social media accounts. Also, if you want to express an opinion, eternal devotion, or undying contempt, go ahead and leave a comment because we're always looking for feedback. And on that note, I look forward to pondering politics and pop culture again with you very soon.